Welcome. Here we are, War 3 against 4 Loki, and we get to bring in the most balanced champ ever, the Serpent. So we're kicking things off. I think I'm on path 6, section 1. Yeah. So we have this Zola fight 1. We applied the Siphon passive from the Maker. You know, it lets damaging effects deal more damage, I believe. Or instant damaging effects, which, you know, Serpent, he can do all that on his special attack. So initially coming in here, goal is just like a heavy counter when I can, and, you know, throw the SP1 into his block. The plan is just spam SP1s. When Serpent does fire the special into the block, he deals, like, I think it's triple the amount of damage and burst damage or something like that. And yeah, that was just a high risk, high reward heavy. He wants to just stand there and block. Hey, we'll go for it. Hey, shout out to Lefty. But yeah, so in the meantime, like I said, we're just here to manipulate the opponent and yeah, just let our specials deal the damage. Now, at some point after looking back at this fight, I'm like, I wonder could I have just, you know, just baited out Zola. Whenever I got an SP1 from a power gain, just fired it into his block the entire match. So I did start thinking about that. Yeah, shout out to my alliance. I will mute these at some point, but you guys know how I do. So at this point, we're literally just firing the SP1 into his block. And yeah, you know, at this point, this is where I'm like, okay, cool. I can just let my power gain, you know, do his thing, and I never have to worry about trying to hit him properly. So we get one SP1 off. It didn't matter if he blocked the first hit or not. We're going to finish him. Plus, if he blocked it, it would have counted as Serpent throwing a special into a block either way. So the fight went pretty smoothly despite all the mistakes that we did make and get hit. So next up we have this Captain Britain, who, you know, if you faced her previously, before we had like Neuroshock immune opponents on this node, yeah, this fight could get out of hand, especially if she was high sig. It was like, you know, hey, we're throwing Jack at the fight, but ooh, bad RNG and you just get melted. So we have the Maker. We applied all 3 pre-fights. I'm a fan of the Maker. It's just, to me, he kind of suffers that same, you know, same thing as Solvark, where it's like, hey, you do all of this for the build up, and then you finally unleash the build up, and it's just not that satisfying. Now, as long as you can keep, like, you know, heavy, knocking them down to the trap and all that, sure, you can do like some nice spans of burst damage. Some changes that I do hope happen when the refresh rate on this on the mine is, I hope that duration is quicker. And 2, if you do an SP2 knockdown into the mine without doing the SP3, the mine goes away. Then you have to do SP1, a bunch of heavies, and SP2 into it again, which I don't think letting the mine stay off the SP2 is a bad thing. I feel like, you know, like basically the damage it does is, I'm like, yeah, just keep the mine permanent after an SP1. Now, unfortunately, don't ask me why I was not expecting her to attack me as soon as she recovered. But hey, it happens. So we do the SP3 and then the mine. I don't remember if it's like permanent or it just stays there like longer. But yeah, so we went SP3. Goal here now is just to charge things up. And we fire SP2 to knock her into the mine, and we do like, you know, 1/4 of her health. So, you know, look at that. I did an SP1, an SP3, and SP2, and I only took off 25% health. Like, yeah, like I said, it's like that Solvark treatment where it's not satisfying. Sure, if you're doing like what node was it? Power Shield node we had in BGs, that one meta when he was released, then yeah, it's cool because the burst damage picks up off that. And unfortunately, I didn't have the thing charged up by that point in time. I thought I did, but oh well. So I'm just here like, man, what did I mess up there? So yeah. And at this point, luckily we did not get a crit on that final hit. Otherwise, yeah, we probably would have been looking at our next death. And then I'm like, oh, she went unstoppable. Don't punish me. Luckily, she didn't again. So, you know, Lady Luck is on her side. Kabam is like, if you die on this fight, it's all like skill issue. They gave me every opportunity to win, and we finally capitalized. So yeah, that fight would definitely go a lot smoother in the future. And I might just skip SP3 and just stick to SP1, SP2 rotation the entire time. So now we're on path 8, section 2, and we're up against Quicksilver. And you know, who counters evade? The most balanced champion in the game, King Serpent. You know, everyone expected, people wanted Serpent to be nerfed, at least as a defensive threat, and Kabam said he's fine, you know? So hey, here we are. We did a Power Start 1 boost. I was supposed to fire the SP1 into his block, you know, like that. Don't ask me why, I instantly forgot that parried attack and he evaded. But yeah, so at this point we'll just stick to the same strategy we had for Zola. Keep firing SP1s into his block. This builds our cold force charges. Essentially we just start dealing more and more damage. And then, you know, we'll get a big passive Furies. The more, I think once we hit like 16 charges, we're up to 7 right now. And because we have True Focus, Quicksilver can't evade. Here, I'm just really, honestly, I'm not worried about Dex and specials or not. You know, it's not like they're doing a lot of damage on the block. Plus, they haven't fought Quicksilver in so long, I could not tell you the last time I had to dodge a special from Quicksilver. So, you know, we're going to go through, try it, and it's the timing's all off. That shows you how long it's been. And because he hit us, we lost our True Focus, which, hey, that doesn't happen if Serpent is defending. You hit Serpent, he still has it. He'll smack you. Yeah, so Quicksilver goes down. King Serpent. And next we have this North Star fight, which we're using Future Ant-Man, our only Future Ant-Man fight this whole war. Switching, normally I cut out this part, but hey, we're switching, getting our tech boost on. And I think I add the Siphon passive from the Maker, maybe? No, it does have one eye open, so if you stun him and inflict damage, that damage is reflected back to you as well. And yeah, so we're doing the instant Siphon, you know, Fact has a bunch of instant damage, especially once he has his power detonation on the opponent. So when I went to do practice fights, I was able to dash back into the corner and counter his heavy with my heavy, and I'm like, okay, cool, that works. So that way I can at least get my knockdowns in and, you know, maintain keeping endurance and everything else up. So here we are, we back off into the corner. Now we just wait for him to throw a heavy, we throw our heavy, and boom, I'm like, that did not go like that in practice. And now we lost a little passive. Which, yeah, I should have just heavied after that, but at that point I was just like, okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Maybe I reacted like too late. And I'm like, okay, cool, we got this. So the plan here is we'll just take a bunch of block damage in the corner. Luckily, Fant has these armors, which also glance incoming attacks. Boy, everyone's going live today. Let's pause this for a moment. Alright, and we're back. We have Do Not Disturb on. So at this point, we're just getting pummeled in the corner while he's unstoppable. But hey, shout out to all the armors, the glancing. And yeah, even though we stunned him, we went ahead and got the heavy since he had protection up, and we knew it wouldn't, the reflect damage wouldn't be that much to us. So we fire an SP1, dealing extra burst damage since we have the power detonation active. And now we're just going back into our corner to punish his heavy with our heavies, and just not let him throw a special. And because we're tactic and we have the endurance, we don't have to worry about the unstoppable. And shout out to all the glancing. So it was like we just got tickled, you know. Fire heavy to get the, off, the protection off. Now we're ending on light, so that way we can throw SP2. Big damage, big damage. Unfortunately, no crits. So we're just here waiting for him to throw heavy, which, yeah, he's like, hey, let me beat into his like block for like 2 combos straight. Finally, he does throw a heavy, which we counter and knock him down. And he decides to just stand there and let the relic hit him, and we fire one more SP2 to end things. Not the prettiest fights, but hey, we were safe. You know, between all the armors for tankiness, all the glancing so hits don't crit and deal a bunch of reduced damage, we were a-okay. Now we're back to probably most people's favorite idol right now, Lumitrix. Now, guy can be an annoying defender. We're gonna apply another of those instant siphon debuffs from the maker, which means we're going in with the most balanced champion of all, King Serpent. As you can see, I use a lot of Power Start 1 boost this war. But luckily we have the daily quest where we can get like 2 a week, and then I need to buy another one with Glory by the time this is coming up, and I should be back full. Or 1 away at most. So we get our Power Start 1 boost. Goal is to throw that into his block. So we're just going to hit, do some extra damage, throw our SP1 into his block. Now we have our true focus, so we counter, you know, evade and miss, which Lumitrix has access to both. And we fire a second SP1 into his block. And we're like, hey, so far so good. Normally, he's invisible, but we're Serpent, so we don't care about missing invisibility and all that. Normally this would be where he evades, but because we're Serpent, we counter the ability to evade. And as you can see, we're just manipulating the AI. Stopping our combos short, dashing back really quickly, throwing a special so they throw a block. Now we're like, okay, one more special and we're done. And unfortunately, we got parried there. But luckily, he went into a special, and Awakened Serpent is stun immune when the opponent throws a special. So he actually helped us in that sense. And we finally get another SP1 off, which we've been doing like our 3rd SP1 it took, but 3rd time's the charm, right? And Lumitrix goes down. And you can say, hey, we didn't die. That's all that matters. So far, 2 Deathless Wars back to back would take it, especially after that Abysmal War 1. So thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, peace.